Our topic is garment workers and ethical implications of buying low-wage products. And if you take just a moment and remind us of who we are as your audience, that'd be great.
You are the board of directors from GRAD.
Okay. And we are ready.
So first I want to address why we are here. At the issue in our presentation here is your current subscription to and in your own founding of the Alliance for Worker Safety in Bangladesh, and your unwillingness to sign the accord, the internationally supported Accord for Worker or Fire and Building Safety in Bangladesh. You, at one point, following the Rana Plaza tragedy, came close to signing the accord, but you stepped away, and your major point of contention, as you have voiced in public and you voiced in the presentation yesterday, is the issue of legal liability. You are concerned that in being more legally liable for the working conditions and worker safety in Bangladesh, that you open yourself up to an increase of legal suits brought against you. But we find this concern unsound or unfounded. That in the accord there is a steering committee put in place that allows that will analyze the evidence in issues that involve worker safety and worker injuries, as well as collapses or poor building conditions. This committee will analyze this evidence and find you, if they find that you are negligent in improving the conditions that these workers are working in, then yes, legal suit will be brought against you, and rightly so. But if they find that you did everything in your power to prevent the accident and to ensure the safety of the workers, then other action plans will be put in place to improve the conditions. So again, we find your concern of being legally liable unsound and unfounded. Then there's the issue of public identity. As we all know, public identity is constructed around our interaction in the world. And at the moment, in your subscription to the Alliance, you're showing that you're not willing to go the full length in doing what's right by the workers. That you are forming a public identity that is inconsistent with your own values. And this is because the Alliance is not the standard internationally. And doing what's right is doing what's in accordance with a particular ethical standard. And currently the standard is the Accord. And by being not signing the Accord, you're showing that you are on the wrong side of doing what is right in the world and what is doing right by the workers. Finally, I want to discuss the motto that GAP currently goes by, which is doing more than selling clothes. At the moment, given the issues of your current public identity, this motto seems more like an economic prerogative than an ethical imperative. And we think that the adoption of the Golden Rule standard will improve this public identity and make you more consistent with your own goals and values towards your global responsibility. Now I want to hand it over to my colleague, Ms. Swanson, who will go further lay out our ethical framework.
Thank you. So, as we laid out yesterday, the main ethical framework we want to give to GAP to follow not only with signing the Accord over the Alliance, but also improving its corporate society as a whole is the Golden Rule standard. Now, across history and cultures and religions, doing unto others as you would have them do unto you has been a standard in ethical fairness. This means the Golden Rule has universality and can be easily understood by not only you, members of the board of GAP, but also anyone who you do business with across the world. The Golden Rule is not only advocated by people like Mother Teresa or the Dalai Lama, it's also been advocated by the father of capitalism himself, Adam Smith, And if you read his theory of moral sentiments as well as The Wealth of Nations, you would see that capitalism does not mean a narrow-minded laissez-faire capitalism. It means also adhering to social responsibility. The Golden Rule is also an implicit motivator in such business models like the triple bottom line. And I'm sure many of you know of the triple bottom line as reminding you that money does not mean ignoring environmental sustainability and social responsibility. In fact, those three goals can all be accomplished together. The Golden Rule does not mean self-sacrifice or making money on the back burner. It simply means treating others as you would want to be treated given the like situation. Importantly, our Golden Rule standard means not allowing GAP to be affiliated with or held responsible for the deaths of 1,000 people as with what happened with the Rana Plaza disaster. Now, our Golden Rule standard can be implemented through 4 basic business virtues. And those virtues are honesty, toughness, fairness, and trust. These virtues make it easy to understand the principle of doing unto others as we would want, given a like situation. The first virtue is honesty. This virtue can be applied through GAP's consumers, through brand loyalty. Being an honest company means making people want to wear you. It means making people be proud to have the GAP name across their chest when they buy their clothing. Toughness means adhering to the mission of growing as a corporation and not letting yourself forget GAP's commitment to its consumers and workers. Toughness means towing the line when it most matters, when it could be easy to pay your workers low wages, when it could be easy to send in inspectors that have conflicts of interest because they're paid by you. Toughness is rising to the challenge of being socially responsible while also making money. Fairness is ethical engagement. Meeting worker needs where they stand and understanding what is necessary for these needs. This is a part of our standard that says, in a like situation. Now, the board of GAP is not in the same situation as the lowest worker in the garment factory. It's not in the same situation as the 17-year-old working in a GAP store in San Marcos, Texas. But in understanding where those balances of power lie, we can treat those workers as their needs need to be met in that particular situation. Now, this is especially true in signing the Accord, where the needs of the workers need independent oversight, as we laid out yesterday. They don't need inspectors that have conflicting interests because they are being paid by the alliance with Gap and Walmart. They need oversight, and they need the ability to go to workers' unions, which is, of course, is not a part of a plan within the alliance. Our third virtue is trust. Trust means cultural sensitivity. Understanding the unique needs of who you do business with across the globe. GAP started out in the US and it's expanded into Europe, and of course you do business in Bangladesh. These are all different cultures, and we need to be culturally sensitive to what sort of needs those cultures have. What should stand out to you, members of the board, is that our Golden Rule standard means GAP not only holds itself to a simplistic ethical framework, but it has the obligations to pursue GAP's interests of corporate growth, brand loyalty, and cultural sensitivity. What we have presented to you is a plan for action that makes GAP a legitimate contender in global business and meeting obligations. GAP already says it adheres to all of this on its website. And if you go onto GAP's website, there's a pretty extensive social responsibility section. but it has no teeth under the Alliance. It's so easy to go online and look up where the Alliance and the Accord stand. It's easy to go on Facebook and see everybody else who is calling for GAP to sign the Accord. It's easy to research the way products are made. Consumers know this. And when consumers realize that GAP can't even back up what it says on its own website, they're not going to spend money with you. Finally, I would just like to say that remember your own logo, your own motto, and that we think doing more than selling clothes should mean doing unto others as you would want done to you while you sell clothes.
You have a button that says stop. Okay, there we go. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank you.